I mean,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm reading the context, and it's, to me, pragmatically, there is more within it. Like, there's other words that you could have used to, if you're trying to symbolize racism, if you're trying to symbolize minorities and things like that, and it's a fantasy, you can make up a completely like different name rather than having a name that sounds so derogatory. It's not like rig art either, it's spelled rig, and fair enough, it's not the actual thing, but it's one letter away, and the way that it's used in context. Okay, so I finally read this. And it was backshit, but not for the reasons that you might think. It obviously was poorly written. Everything about it was, you know, they didn't write it. It just seems like they had one of the friends who may have done writing at school and thought, oh, I can do this, and decided to do it. I mean, there's probably the level that I could write, let's be honest, but I'm not a writer. I don't profess to think that I can write. This is a freckle on my lip, by the way. It's not dirty. I just have to say that. The reason why I don't like it is probably the covert racism for me, the fat shaming in it, and the lower class shaming. Maybe most stories, whether that be historical or fantasy, dystopian, things like that, there's always going to be some kind of oppression, some kind of minorities. We use a lot of social issues in books, whether that be in real life or not, to garner a response. We can relate to it, right? Even this is dystopian land or fantasy land, if they wanted to, oppression and racism and segregation and prejudice could not even exist. It could never even exist, right, if they wanted to. But that doesn't have a compelling story. People like an underdog. We like justice. And I've spoken to a couple of my friends that are African American themselves, and I've put this towards them and to see what they think. They basically said to me that they feel that the writer of this was just purely lazy, meaning that they obviously wanted to make some kind of oppressed groups for the way that they look, the way that they are, the way that the background is, and rather than just thinking of any other name in the world, they decided to go so close to the wire with already a derogatory slur that's already been used for hundreds of years and just sort of keep it in that vein rather than being creative. So it's not necessarily the subject of showing what's injustice and what's classed as racism. It's using that word that's so close to the wire to mean what they say, if that makes sense. There's nothing wrong with highlighting oppression and that they're being treated differently because of where they come from, how they act, how they talk. But why use rigor? And their justification will be like, oh, well, they work on the rigs and they're called riggers. But then you look at the context of how it's written, it's like, I'm a rigger, I'm not welcome in this place, and, you know, I look like a rigger. And it's like, what? You could use any other word, like, I don't know, pancake. Is it because you think that the audience hasn't got the imagination to put the two together? Like,
oh, that's just like the injustice of black people.
That's just like the injustice of gay people. You know what I'm saying? It's very easy to detect. I'm about to read the second one, and I will give you a heads up. But so far, Rebels City of Indra is dog shit. Give it a 1 for the artwork. So, update. I have fully read that one. I am on Time of the Twins now. I am about halfway through. So far, it's better. It is better than the other one. Something action-packed is actually happening, but it just screams entitlement to me. I don't know, maybe it's because I know who the authors are that it just sort of screams entitlement. I think sometimes it is hard to separate the author from the book, especially when, like, some of the videos that they've done, they've said